March 26th at 6:30 p.m. on my watch. We are in the Village Hall as well as on Zoom. The Zoom link is at the top of the agenda. We have a quorum and the agenda was properly posted, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, then, we have public appearances. This is the public's opportunity to speak on any subject. If you are from the public, we just ask that you share your name, your address, your municipality, and hold your comments to no more than 3 minutes in case we have a lot of folks who would like to speak. So with that, I'll be quiet. I don't see anybody in the room. Anybody on Zoom that would like to speak? These are all right. Next, then, we have discuss and consider our meeting minutes held from February 12th. Any questions, comments in regards to meeting minutes as presented?
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion second. Any other discussion?
I have one. Item number 5 was the the meeting minutes from the prior meeting, and it was a vote of 6-0, but I think we had 7 in the room. I don't know if that should just be checked. So my ask would be it just be reviewed, but still, whatever you want to do with it.
Was that when somebody was late, though?
I might have been late.
Yeah.
Was there someone late?
Yeah, I think when someone down was late.
Okay. I don't know if we want to add that as a note.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
So I think it's right.
Okay. Thank you.
Good catch. Any other discussion? All right, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Motion carries. Next, then, we'll open a public hearing in regards to the public's opportunity to provide input for an application from Dolphin Swim Academy for a conditional use permit for a group daycare, 9 children plus, to use at 1500 Landmark Drive. So we do have the applicant here, and Aaron is on. So, Andrea, I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit about it, so that if anybody
Sure.
is from the public, they'll know
Hi.
what questions to
My
ask.
my name's Andrea Ring. I'm an architect with Jewel Associates and the architect on the project. I've been working closely with Brittany Ballweg, the owner for this project. And I'll go ahead and share my screen. I'm used to Zoom. I'm used to Teams, actually. So let me make sure I get the right one up here. Let me know when you're able to see my screen.
We can see a document, yes.
Okay, so this is just the initial paperwork for the conditional use permit. So I'll just kind of go through the drawings and kind of the basics of the project. So this is the existing site at 1500 Landmark Drive. Brittany currently has an existing building here, which is the Swim Academy building. And she is proposing, let me get to the next one. She's proposing to do a separate building adjacent to the Dolphin Swim Academy. This new building will be approximately 2,700 square feet, and it's for a couple different uses. The main use will be kind of a daycare summer camp type of use for the kids that are also kind of attending the swim academy. When that's not in use, she's also hoping to kind of rent it out to the public as a community space. And I can kind of show you the floor plan next to kind of show what's within the building. So like I said, it's about 2,700 square feet for the building footprint, just east of that existing building. Right now, there's existing parking, and then this area right here is existing pavement also. And she's hoping to keep that area as kind of a pickup drop-off area for the kids. So a car can just pull up. This is the main entry into that building. There will be an overhang here that the kids can kind of stay under, if the weather's bad or anything like that. Parents can drive right up here, kind of loop back around and out. So the thought is there's plenty of parking already on site that can also take care of this additional building. We will be modifying this stall to an ADA stall and then providing new sidewalk accessible sidewalk to this main entry. That's kind of the site, I guess, basics on kind of the building and layout of the site. And let me just kind of get to the grading plan. This kind of shows it pretty well too. The thought is drainage will go to the existing swale that's already in place. We'll be using what's already on site and not adding any additional measures for stormwater. Utilities will come from the south up to the building. This next drawing is just a blown up view of the grading plan. So that's kind of the conditional use permit portion of it. If you'd like me to show the floor plan, I can at this point. That's kind of part of the site plan submittal too. But I'm trying to, let me just look at my notes, see if there's anything else I forgot to cover regarding. So the other thing is the impervious area is staying under kind of the required percentage. So we're able to kind of use that existing stormwater system that's in place. Yeah. Are there any questions that I can answer on the project?
This is still the public hearing portion, so the overview is very nice, and we'll get into questions from the
Sounds good.
commission following that. We'll have, and if you have anything else you want to share regarding the plans?
I don't think so, not regarding the conditional use permit.
Okay. All right, then we'll turn it over to Aaron, and he can give us his report then.
Thanks, John. Yeah, so the land use, we're calling this as a daycare use that is permitted as an accessory use with an established principal use, such as a church, school, or business. So in this case, the swim school. Didn't have a ton of conditions on this. As was mentioned, there's two separate approvals being considered here, the conditional use permit and the site plan. As far as the conditional use permit, the only condition I'd be recommending is just clarifying that this applies only to this business only. If it ever changes hands, then the use would have to be reconsidered. As far as the site plan, just a couple conditions there. The first one being, I think there's some landscaping from the original building that wasn't put in, some trees and things, maybe because it was.
I think you're right, yep.
Yeah, it might have been preserving some flexibility for this future building to come in, but we would like that to get finished off at this time.
Sure.
And then just providing the stormwater and erosion control details for Strand to take a look at and for Dane County prior to issuing the disturbance permit.
Okay.
Ty from Strand is online. I think he had a few comments or suggestions that could be added.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. My webcam is not working or cooperating right now, so I apologize for that. But you addressed some of the comments that I already had. One of the things we had a comment on was the water and sewer laterals. Typically, we like to see a straight line between the building and the street and not the bends. But we do
Right.
understand this is on private property, and it's not. It won't be village owned. That's just something we would recommend. I do see that you're wanting to avoid the pavement.
Exactly, yep.
That's why you did it. But
Exactly.
the recommendation would be just, to have a straight line. I mean, it's
Okay.
understandable why. But if you do keep the bends, there would need to be clean outs on the sanitary laterals at the bends. So I mean, it's not unprecedented. Again, it's not a deal breaker by any means from our standpoint. It would just be a recommendation. As far as I did have a comment on the paved area, but you did a good job of addressing that. My question was to just what is it going to be used for and why isn't there parking? But you stated that it's going to be kind of a drop off area. So that comment really has been addressed. I wanted to see that there was an ADA stall, and it looks like you're adding one as close as you can. As far as connections, we did have a comment as far as pedestrian connections. So, you're not showing any sidewalk in between the two buildings. And, you know, as it states, a person would have to walk out the west and up and around. So
Sure.
has it been considered to put a sidewalk connection in between the two buildings? Just to make it easier for pedestrians to go in between them.
Sure. Yeah, no, I can definitely bring that up to Brittany. I'll have to take a closer look at that existing building, and where the door, I'm guessing there's probably a door here. That looks like that's probably a stoop. But yeah, I think that's a good idea, because that could probably get to be kind of a long
I
trek
mean,
for
and
some
I'm
of
not
those.
sure, you know, if that side door is even intended to be used to get in
Right,
between
yep.
buildings, but if it is, it would
Mhm.
make sense to have an
Yeah.
accessible.
No, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, I'll take a look at those existing building drawings and see what rooms, it looks like these two are probably doors, what rooms those are going into,
Sure.
and if that makes sense.
Yeah, if that,
Yeah.
you know, that would be nice to see. And then the only other thing.
Hey,
that you mentioned-
Tyler.
Yeah,
This
sure.
is Brittany Ballwick. Andrea doesn't
Oh.
necessarily, I'm here, Andrea, in person.
Oh, hi.
I'm going to make a quick comment. So the east side is the pool, so there cannot be a sidewalk connecting because those doors have to stay locked. I don't want people
Okay.
to enter freely due to it being right into the pool. So that's why it goes down to the south and then into the main entrance, so we have more secure visibility
Okay.
of people entering. So that's why.
That makes sense then. It figured there might have been a reason. And then the only other thing, and you did address stormwater, you know, the entire Commerce Park is treated under a regional basin.
Mhm.
Typically, where there's still infiltration requirements, the previous application in the first edition to Dolphin Swim was, I believe there was I don't know if it's a variance, but basically that with the soils present, you couldn't meet the infiltration requirements. So if you have
Okay.
any, you know, correspondence with that, you know, we would accept that, but it would just be, if you had that, we would like to see that,
Okay.
as far as not meeting the infiltration requirements, but it's kind of a trend of the soils in this area to be not suitable for infiltration.
Okay.
Other than that, I just had a question. The dumpster, is that intended to be, it looks like you guys might put it right in that southeast corner today. Is that where it's intended to be now? Yeah, is that where the dumpster
Brittany,
is?
is this the existing?
Brittany's
is this-
coming back. So yes, the dumpster is on the southeast corner. It is an enclosed thing.
Okay.
So if you look at the sidewalk layout on the drawing and you go all the way to the east, there's like a little square outline right above where Andrea's mouse was.
Yes.
Yeah, right there. That's where the dumpster is enclosed in a locked
Okay.
gate.
Okay. Those were my main comments. So I don't have any further concerns or comments.
Okay, with the staff as well as the applicant kind of giving an overview, is there anybody from the public who would like to speak on this? All right, if there isn't, then we'll close the public portion of this and move on to discuss and consider the application for Dolphin Swim Academy for conditional use permit, as just been discussed. So this is where you'll get questions from commissioners. So, go ahead. Anybody?
I just had a comment that most of the buildings in that area use the regional detention basin because you're correct, Tyler, the soils weren't conducive for on-site infiltration. So pretty much everything I remember, most of them weren't able to do that, and they were able to utilize going to that regional detention basin behind Johnson Health Tech.
Yep. Yep. We saw that with the neighboring property as well. So I would agree.
Mine's just logistics, sorry. So, typically we would make, there may be a motion to approve with staff recommendations. There's no engineering formal document for recommendations. I just want to make sure engineering doesn't have anything formal to have in our motion if needed. So the good conversation that was had there in the presentation, but is there anything, I just want to make sure we capture it if it's needed.
Yeah, as far as, you know, the one thing I would have recommended was the sidewalk, but, and I apologize for not getting the report into the packet. But it was a fairly simple and not very many comments, but that was really the only thing that could have been a condition to be added, but understanding the layout of the building, I think, you know, that's understandable why they wouldn't do that. So no, there wouldn't be any further conditions that we would, say.
Sounds good. It was a good conversation. I just want to make sure if there was anything formal we needed to capture, we did. And
Yeah,
so
and
that
if you have
sounds
any
good.
questions for me,
Appreciate it.
the answer.
Oh, mine is more a comment. I'm happy to see that, you know, locally owned business is finding more opportunity in Cottage Grove and expanding. So it's exciting to see that. And I don't want to, I mean, I would be happy then to make a motion to approve the application from Dolphin Swim Academy for conditional use permit for a group daycare land use at 1500 Landmark Drive with staff conditions.
Second that motion.
Second.
All right, we have a second and a third, so any other discussion then? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Motion carries. All right, then we move on for more Dolphin Swim Academy. For the discuss and consider the application for Dolphin Swim Academy for approval of a site plan for an approximately 3,000 square foot accessory building. So,
I'll make a motion to recommend approval for the application from Dolphin Swim Academy for approval of a site plan for an approximately 3,000 square foot accessory building with conditions set forth by staff.
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second then. Any other discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Motion carries. All right. Thanks, Brittany. Next up, then, we have discuss and consider an application from Corey Clemens regarding this is related to an ETJ, final plat for Kennedy Hills, located on the northwest corner of Highway BB and Kennedy Road in the town of Cottage Grove. We've seen a couple plats already for this. Aaron, you want to take this one away?
Yeah, thanks, John. This is the final plat following the preliminary plat that we saw, I think, late last year. No changes from that preliminary plat. When there are changes, the final plat is really intended to be a formality. We didn't have Strand review this. There's really not much for the engineers to review when it's an ETJ plat. There's not a lot we can't make them meet our standards for like street design, things like that. So we'd recommend approval. The only thing I'm noting here is our subdivision ordinance does note that when an ETJ lot is less than an acre, we only agree to that when the town agrees to that, but the town has also approved the preliminary plat, so that's not really an issue here. So we'd recommend approval.
All right. Any questions from commissioners?
I just have a comment because I am a member, I'm on CARPC, and we talked about agricultural preservation. And, you know, thinking about towns and having developments, we were talking about how the owners of agricultural land sell their development rights to, have the developments like this. And recently, the town, you can build more per acre in a different location by selling your development rights to a different, so you have more town neighborhoods, and they upped that number so you can have more lots per agricultural preserved land. So I just think it's, now we see this portion of it. So we talked a lot about agricultural preservation recently, and it's one of the things to do that.
All right, thank you, Heidi. Any other questions from commissioners or consideration of the motion?
I'd make the motion to approve the application from Corey Clemens for approval of an ETJ plat for Kennedy Hills as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second. Any other discussion?
That's with conditions?
Yep, with conditions.
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor then?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Motion carries. Next, then we're going to open another public hearing. This is public's opportunity to provide input for the application of Ando Ramirez for Mr. Queso's LLC conditional use permit for indoor commercial entertainment land use serving alcohol at sports bar at 1609 Landmark Drive, the former BB Jack space. So with that, anybody from public can jump in. Otherwise, we'll have kind of an overview, I guess. Aaron, you got anything on this one?
Sure. So this is kind of the reason we're doing this meeting tonight instead of a couple weeks ago. They're looking to get into the space as soon as possible. And this extra couple of weeks really helps them out. So I know the business really appreciates you guys accommodating them on this. Like John said, they're moving into the former BB Jack space, very similar use being proposed. But the conditional use permit that was given to BB Jack's only applied to BB Jack's, so the new business does have to come in and get their own, just so we can review if there were any, changes to the hours or the way they're operating. But in this case, there really aren't too many changes. This is the same owner that owns the Don Magui restaurant at the other end of the building, so they've been very successful and good to work with at that site. So we'd recommend approval.
All right. All right, since it's a public hearing, Alex, do you want to speak at all or no? We can cover that in a second then, if we need you. Otherwise, you're fine. Anybody from the public would like to chime in? All right, then we'll close the public hearing portion of this and move on to discuss and consider the application for this, as stated in item 11 agenda. So, any questions from commission members or comments?
I can just jump back in. There were a couple of minor conditions. Once again, this conditional use permit would apply to this business. So if it changes hands again, we'd review the new business coming in. The village board already approved their liquor license conditioned on them getting this conditional use permit. And then any new signage would require a sign permit.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
What about the outdoor patio?
Lisa, do you know if they included that area in their liquor license?
Yes, it was included in their liquor license, and it will be part of their premise description.
So on the checklist that was submitted, or whatever that is, it says, no, it is completely indoors.
Alex, do you want to come up? Are you going?
I'm
to-
just, I mean,
Good catch.
I just want to know that that they're intending to keep the
Can
patio.
you turn your microphone
Yeah,
on?
Alex,
It's
yeah.
the one that has the little person.
Yeah, basically, yeah, I'm trying to do all of the same, like work inside and on the patio too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you do want that included?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Obviously, yeah, just for the, for the summer. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Fred. Any other comments, questions?
I guess my question then is, in the motion, is it indoor commercial entertainment land use? Because that's the land use, even though it can include outdoor. I just want to make sure we have the motion right if we're also including the outdoor space.
I guess if you want to reference the patio as well in the motion, that would be cleaner, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Aaron. I'm trying to pull the ordinances up, but I think.
Don't
just the
we
right ones.
normally, I mean, it just seems like in the past, we've had like some kind of motion for the outdoor portion, so that's why I'm,
Yeah, so I think if there's a motion to approve, it would be a motion to approve the conditional use permit as well as the outdoor patio area. I think that would be sufficient to cover it.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Fred.
BB Jacks, they were done at different times, so that's kind of why we had two different stages of approval for that.
With that, I would make the motion to approve the conditional use permit for an outdoor commercial entertainment land use serving alcohol as well as the outdoor patio for Mr. Queso LLC at 1609 Landmark Drive with staff conditions.
second.
All right, we have a motion second then. Any other discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Motion carries. All right, next then we have yet another public, pardon? Oh, yeah. Alex, you're all good. All good.
So much, you guys appreciate it.
So I'd like to open another public hearing, and this is the public's opportunity to provide input on proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance related to beekeeping. We've had this on the agenda a few times now.
Yeah, thanks, John. So this is basically just wrote up in ordinance format, some of the things we discussed at the last meeting that we wanted included. So just to refresh our memories on that, we're including this as a permitted accessory use in the two single-family residential districts, SR4 and SR6. And then within the list of accessory land uses, we're adding beekeeping as a new use. Referencing the removable frames and the hives, no more than 4 hives on a lot. No hives shall exceed 20 cubic feet. Keeping the grounds clean of the wax and things related to the hives. They should be kept in the rear yard only, 20 feet from any property boundary. Clean water provided for the bees, and then the flyaway barrier to keep the bees from flying directly into neighboring properties. So these are elements taken from different ordinances that we've discussed last time.
All right, anybody from the public regarding this item? All right, if there's none, we'll close the public hearing. And we have to wait until this gets back on the agenda for approval, right? Because it's not on here.
Number 13.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
totally that. There's yet another public hearing on here. I'm sorry, I was looking at that too. Sorry.
I move approval of amending the zoning ordinance related to beekeeping.
Second.
All right. We have motion second then. Any other discussion?
I'm still not crazy about it being allergic to bee stings, so whatever.
Understood. Any other discussion beyond that? All right, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
Any abstain? Motion carries. Excuse me. Then we'll open another public hearing in regards to the public's opportunities to provide input on proposed amendment zoning ordinance related to library parking requirements. So with that, Aaron, you want to give the overview? I think we've heard this
Yeah,
already.
so this is the Groundhog Day ordinance. It just keeps coming back, not going away. It's back again this time because the Wisconsin State Journal neglected to publish it twice as they were supposed to do. Because there was only one notice actually published. It was the village attorney's opinion that our previous hearing was not valid because the ordinance and state statute does require two notices prior to a public hearing. So we are redoing the hearing and we would need to reconsider the ordinance change. Based on the amount of discussion that went into it last time, we did seem to come to an agreement, at this committee and at the village board about changing it to the 1 to 400 square feet. We'd recommend just reapproving that.
All right, again, the public hearing portion, anybody from the public wish to speak on this particular item? All right, with that, then we'll close the public hearing portion of this, and we'll move on to discuss and consider this zoning ordinance. And again, this I think was one space per 400 square feet, if I remember right.
I'll make the motion to approve or recommend approval of amending the zoning ordinance related to the library parking requirements.
Is there a second? I'll second it to keep this going. Any other discussion? All right.
Why can't we table it until after the referendum? There are no meetings scheduled that I'm aware of.
So this is an interesting position just because it came back because the State Journal didn't publish the notice. So the zoning ordinance requirements say you have to provide a recommendation by the next meeting after the public hearing. So you could technically table it tonight or not make a decision until the next meeting and then make a recommendation to the village board at your next meeting. If you don't make a decision, it automatically would go to the village board at that time.
The board meeting will be after the election either way.
Right. So.
Any other discussion? I think it'll probably be pretty clear, it sounds like to me, but let's do a roll call just so you have it.
Allen,
Nay.
Brinkmeyer,
Nay.
Justison,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Sale,
Nay.
Schultz,
Nay.
and Williams.
Aye.
So that's 4-3 with the noes.
Yeah, so not approved, not recommended. That's fine. All right, moving then on to future agenda items. Aaron, anything you want to call out for us?
I think the main thing next time we'll be looking at changes to our floodplain ordinance. This is stuff that's being kind of mandated by the DNR. They periodically update their model ordinance that municipalities are supposed to use as a basis. So we just have some minor changes throughout the ordinance to bring it into compliance with that. So we'll look at that next time.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
We're still planning for the second Wednesday, right? Correct?
Yes.
Back on schedule?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thanks.
We only moved this one for the restaurant.
Thanks.
Yeah, and appreciate everybody being here too, by the way.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All non-debatable, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Have a good night, everybody.
Sorry.